and a 17-time NBA All-Star, the third highest scorer in NBA history, the 2008 MVP, two-time NBA Finals MVP, five-time NBA champion, a 6'6" guard from Lower Merion High School, where he won the title in 1996, number 24, Kobe Bryant. And a 17.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nieces and nephews, auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpappy, is the world's most dangerous podcast.
Dope Dealer Podcast.
It's your man Jamal Doman at Jamal Doman, JamalDoman.
Tobe Hixx at Tobe Hixx, TOBEHIXX.
Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Dope Dealers Podcast, at Dope Dealers Podcast. You can hit us up. This is a very special and somber but celebratory episode. This is actually supposed to have been our 100 episode. I know some of you guys listening to us was expecting our 100th episode. That's still coming. This is not that episode. Obviously, with recent events, we decided to we just call it a special episode, maybe a 99.5 episode. So the 100th episode is still coming.
We don't even need a number on this one. This is the Kobe Bryant episode.
It's the Kobe Bean Bryant episode where we're celebrating the late, great, the legend, the GOAT, the greatest Laker of all time, Kobe Bean Bryant, his passing and also the passing of his beautiful young daughter, Gigi Bryant, and also the other all 9 members, all 9 passengers in the helicopter who was with him. We also celebrating them too.
Yeah,
and how you doing?
And before we get started with Kobe, because people are dying all over the world, so shout out to the troops, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, the Blood, the Crips, and the SAs, and the first responders who was on the scene in Calabasas, the horrible scene of the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the 7 other passengers.
Yes. Yeah, this is we wasn't expecting this one, partner.
Never. I never expected him to die in this way. I just figured, I would be dead before him, and so I would never have to see this day. And
41 years old.
I figured he was going to grow old, as most of our NBA legends have been blessed to grow old. There's a few that didn't make it that were really, that were legends. Moses Malone,
Daryl Dawkins,
Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. And a few that we lost at an earlier age.
Wilt Chamberlain,
Yeah. You fucked 20,000 women. That shit gonna kill you.
That's right, man. Yeah. Let's start off. Just tell me, where were you when you got the news? How did you react to it? Who gave you the news? Just give us all.
I was on the 101. I was headed down here to the studio to do Nick's podcast.
Exactly. Yes.
And so I'm listening to ESPN radio, and the man comes on and says Kobe Bryant is dead. I thought I was on a different channel. I'm like, because I know I'm listening to ESPN.
Right.
And I know they ain't gonna say no shit like this. I just could not believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I instantly started shaking. It's like I felt some type of, I guess I had a small anxiety attack, like damn near. Because, I've heard people talk about anxiety, and I only felt this way a couple times in my life. Like my heart started beating fast. It was like I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. And it was on the 101, and I literally thought I was in a dream. Like, to be honest, I thought I was asleep, and I was going to wake up, and this shit wasn't going to be real. It was, I ain't never felt this bad about somebody who wasn't a family member or a close friend. And in most cases, I've been pretty fortunate, you know, besides, you know, the years in the streets and the friends we lost out there gang banging and during that type of time. But other than that, most of my relatives, for the most part, have died of old age.
Right.
For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had a couple, you know, that died early and died tragically. But for the most part, I've been pretty blessed when it comes to that. I mean, it's like right now, it's like even the death that I know I'll be facing soon, like when it comes to my grandmother and shit like that. I mean, it's of old age.
Right.
So this was the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, you know, the only thing that compares to me is like when Tupac was died. But the difference is like people like that, like when Tupac got killed, we was sad and everything. You know, the West Coast was sad. I was sad. I mean, I was in the streets. I grew up with his music, so I was sad. But it wasn't the same because we knew he was about that life.
Right.
So we know. I mean, shit. I knew any day. Just like I could have died any day, I knew Tupac could have died any day. It was the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was so much different. And at first, when they just said it was Kobe, I mean, I was devastated or whatever and couldn't believe it. And I remember I got off the freeway on the way to the studio here. As soon as I get off the freeway, it's like 4 Mexican kids, and one of them got a Lakers hoodie on.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked like they were like 11 to 13. And I was shaking, I pulled over, and I seen these, because they were in the street kind of, I seen them look at me, and I could tell that they knew something was wrong with me.
Right.
So I told the kids, I said, hey, y'all, Kobe Bryant is dead. And the boys, they just looked at me like, who is this strange man just rolling up on our street telling us Kobe? I mean, like, they thought, I know at first they had to think I was crazy.
Right.
And I said, nah, he's dead. And they like, what? And, I mean, that's how shook up I was. I stopped and said something to the first people I seen, and they weren't even adults.
Yeah, they weren't,
That's how fucked up I was. I had to talk. I had to say something to somebody at that moment.
Right.
The moment I got off the freeway.
Yeah, I was actually in the crib about to make me some breakfast. My plan was Sunday, make me some breakfast, and then head over to Long Beach to watch my baby girl. So I'm preparing for breakfast. I didn't even start. I was just like getting ready for it, and I got I'm on this text. What's this, like this text chain, like a group text? That's what it's called. Group text with a couple of my Sixer fans. So we always going back and forth about the NBA, Sixers, and stuff like that. And I just happened to look at it, and I have it on mute because if I had they text all day, so I'll put it on mute. If I go to my phone, I see it. So I went to my phone. I seen a message from him, and I saw this TMZ report: Kobe Bryant dead. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, here they come with this bullshit again. Y'all always talking about somebody dead. So at first I just ignored it because I'm like, it's some bullshit. Come on. It was just like somebody screenshotted something. I said, TMZ be on that bullshit.
Yeah.
So then some told me, I said, couple minutes later, someone said, let me go on Twitter. Let me go on, because Twitter usually has the fast breaking news. And I went on Twitter and I just seen people like, is this true? People like, no. And I'm like, oh shit, please. And I stood in my, my little doorway to my living room, my bedroom. I just like, last time I prayed, I always pray, but it's similar to when my little brother, I got the message that he got shot and he in a hospital. So I didn't, I'm still like I'm praying like God, let him make it. You know what I mean? And I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, please let this be nonsense. So now I'm just checking Twitter. I'm on my couch. I'm just checking Twitter, and it's more people like, what's is this true? And me, I turn on CNN too, and I turn on ESPN and CNN, and nothing was on. They was showing the Laker against the Sixers game. They was the NBA Network was showing that. Nothing was scrolling against the screen. So I'm like, that's kind of like my official. And then people, Mark Lamont Hill, who actually grew up with Kobe, Philadelphia CNN contributor. I follow him on Instagram, and he was like, yo, I just talked to one of his family members. They confirmed it. And then you start seeing Then CNN reported the crash, but they didn't say anybody. They just like, hey, we got it. That they said 5 people at first was killed.
Yeah, that's the first thing. And at that time when they first said that, I didn't even think. I just thought Kobe. I didn't think anybody else.
And then pretty soon everybody it was confirmed all over on Twitter, and I actually sat on my couch. I never ate. I didn't even make my breakfast. I didn't eat. By that time, my phone was blowing up. People were hitting me up. I just sat on my couch for like an hour. I was late to get out to Long Beach. I just was like, I was fucked up.
Yeah, man.
Just fucked up.
I can't even imagine. And then, the feeling of that, finding out about him, and then it was probably an hour or so, maybe, at least over an hour, before we found out about Gigi too. And that just took it to a whole nother level. Yeah. That took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, unfortunately.
I don't know, you know what? To be honest, me being a Laker fan and being here in LA and getting here like the same time Kobe came, I don't think, besides comedy and probably my kids, I don't think anything else over the last, I don't think I've spent more time looking at any other individual in my lifetime than Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I watched we watched all the other sports heroes in our life, whatever, but I'm saying me being here in LA,
right,
and being a Laker fan my whole life, I spent so much time, so many games, so many years watching them. Even when I shouldn't have. I remember times being late for a set damn near trying to catch the game before all this technology and before phones where we could watch it on our phone and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember planning shows around Laker games, especially when it came to playoff time.
I remember them.
Unless it was a good amount of money, I might pass up on some shit if I know it's the playoffs. Unless it was something I couldn't pass up on. If it was just a little bit of money,
right,
that might the Laker game might supersede a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so bad. Like I remember even telling myself, Tobe, what the fuck are you doing sitting here watching these motherfuckers who got millions of dollars? You got to get out and get yours.
Right.
But every night it was really. I remember. Obviously, I was a fan of Laker, and I remember the Showtime era. Kobe and Shaq. This was Showtime again. Like I never thought after the first Showtime that there is no way possible there could never be another Showtime like it was with Magic and Kareem and Worthy, and Byron Scott. I never thought that could happen again. And then here come motherfucking Kobe and Shaq and it's Showtime again. And Rick Fox and Fish. Lamar Odom.
It was good times. As a Sixer fan, I was hating a little bit, but being out here, I know as Laker fans, it was the golden era, man. It was the golden era.
I remember, man. Going to the parade. The parade when they the first one, the two without Shaq. I remember going to the parade with my face painted purple and gold like I was a teenager. Like with a whole outfit on with my kids. Riding in the car, going down there to the parade with with my face painted.
Right.
As a grown ass man.
Yeah, man. It's
And immediately after the word came out, the first thing that started happening to me was my daughters call each one of them, and
because they know obviously.
Yeah, and they like, Daddy, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, but and it didn't dawn on me at the time that, they truly knew how much that shit was gonna hurt me. They knew, because I had I won't say forgot, but some thoughts of me with my kids when we were all a family when they were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the thoughts I guess blocked them out of my mind.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The good thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize how much fun we used to have around Laker games. Me and my daughters, my son when he would, whenever he was at the house, but mostly, at this time it would be my daughters. I never realized, it was an event. The girls used to sit down in front of the TV with me because they knew that I loved it. So they watched to, so it was like, it was our thing, you know?
Yeah.
It was our thing.
Mm-hmm.
The same way he was with his daughters.
Right.
And that's what makes it so fucked up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's man, it's in the NBA, around the NBA, obviously this is shaking the NBA and around the NBA starting Sunday night and Monday and then tonight, many tributes, a lot of players. I know tonight Joel Embiid wore the number 24. I think the other night Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks wore the number 8. I know tonight the Sixers came out in the warm-up jerseys. They came out in number 8 and number 24 in their warm-up jerseys. They didn't wear them during the game. Only Joel Embiid wore 24. I know a lot of players. I think Spencer Dinwiddie of the Brooklyn Nets, he changed his number. A lot of players are saying they're not going to wear 24. The players who wore 24 and 8, they're not going to wear the Dallas Mavericks. Owner Mark Cuban said that they're going to retire the number 24.
Yes, and see, I got something. See, a lot of people don't know, and some people, sometimes people ask why, and I've told them, but they don't know. Like, even when it came to my comedy and my name, instead of, because, one thing I was fortunate of, a lot of comedians, they might have had a weird name or a name that just wouldn't work here in Hollywood or whatever the case might be, and they had to change their name or whatever. I was fortunate that I had a name that would work. I just changed the spelling. And Kobe, I switched mine to Tobe. That was for Kobe.
Right.
Because I knew that would look better on a marquee. Tobe, Tobe, Hixx, Hixx, like Red Fox. So I combined them both. Like Kobe and like Red and Jamie Foxx, and I put those two names together because it was my name, and that's how I changed it, and that's where I got it from. Because when I first started doing comedy, I spelled it my regular way.
Yeah, you spell, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. 5-time NBA champion, just a legend, a killer. I'll just tell a story coming out of living in Philly. Obviously we remember Kobe Bryant when he was coming out of Lower Merion High School, which is our suburbs. So he didn't play in the city; he played in the suburbs. He was dominating. His name was buzzing. But it was a little buzz in the city. Was like, but he doing that out there in the suburbs with the white boys. You heard people say he putting up numbers out there, but he out there, he in Lower Merion. He, like a lot of cities.
That's every city.
Yes, every city.
Any black kid that play in the suburbs, they think your game ain't as good. That's any city.
And so you would hear a little, because I think he became the Pennsylvania high school scoring champ.
Yes.
I think at the time, maybe Lynn Greer broke it after him, but I know at the time he was just phenom. But a lot of people were like, he was Jelly Bean's son. But people were like, but he ain't playing in the public league, man. But obviously you can see it don't matter what league he would have played, he would have dominated anybody.
Yeah.
Just believed in himself. I know when that rookie season where he shot all them air balls against the Utah Jazz in the playoffs. They asked him after the game, or I think maybe a couple years later, they asked him, what was your mindset, shooting them air balls, taking them jumpers. He said, I'll do it again. I would do it again. That was his mindset. I tell you, I heard the story on the way up here. Larry Drew, who was assistant coach for the Lakers, his son Larry Drew Jr.
worked out with him.
North Carolina. Yeah, so they said Larry Drew asked Kobe, said, hey man, can you work out with my son? I think he said, yeah, give me his number. So Larry Drew Sr. gave Kobe Larry Drew Jr.'s number. Kobe texted him and said, hey yo, your pop, I want you want to work out with me? Your pop, I just talked to your pop. Come work. He said, yeah. Hey. So Larry Jr. texting him like, hell yeah. He said, all right, be ready. I'm gonna come pick you up at 4. I'm gonna pick you up at 4. He said, all right, cool. I'll just be, and this Larry Jr. was still in high school. He said, all right,
remember.
I'll be out of school. That's cool. I'll leave school and I'll be ready. I'll go home and I'll wait for you. Kobe's like, no, 4 a.m. I'll be there.
Yeah.
So 4 a.m. Kobe Bryant picked up Larry Jr. 4 a.m. and he said they worked out from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. He said he dropped him back off at his crib. He was like, "Oh, you about to go to school?" He said, well, "What you about to do? He said, "I got practice." Kobe had practice.
Yeah,
he still had this. Yeah, he was just insane, man. He was just insane.
I mean, the games over the years and the vibe that he created. I mean, I remember watching the games and just no matter what was going on, you knew with Kobe on the floor that no matter what, the Lakers had a chance. No matter how shit was looking, no matter what was going on, no matter if Shaq fouled out, no matter if he was missing free throws, no matter what the hell was going on, we always knew we had a chance with Kobe.
Yeah.
I remember him hitting some shots sometime. I remember a tear rolling down my face. I was just like, damn, he did it again. He won this game again.
So many game winners. Just so many. I mean, 81. I mean, 5 championships. I mean, we never thought we'd have this, and condolences to his family also. Jelly Bean, his mom, his sister.
Yeah. So I mean, they had the differences, but that they had reconciled.
Yeah, because I know. Yeah, I was wondering about, because you really never seen the parents around a lot. In his as he. So I knew I heard it was kind of little differences and stuff like that.
And it was funny. I never will forget. One time back in the days, Kobe was probably in like maybe his second year with the Lakers, second, maybe third, somewhere early years. I was down in San Diego, and I was at a gym, Muni Gym in downtown San Diego. It's a famous gym in downtown where everybody used to play back in the days. And so I was down at Muni, and Kobe's father was down at the gym, and he was coaching like some like a semi-pro team, some guys who were still trying to make it to the league and whatever. And it was crazy because he was talking to him, and he was talking about Kobe as if he wasn't his son. I mean, he was just saying, now this is how Kobe Bryant do it, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I was just sitting there tripping like, damn, he's telling them how to work like Kobe and the work ethic that Kobe has, and like that's his dad. And it's just like, I'm like, he's talking like it's not even his son. But I mean, I guess he wasn't gonna be like, well, my son do it like this. But he was just saying Kobe Bryant. Yeah. And I was just like tripping up how he was talking about him and using him as an example for other players.
I wish you seen Jelly Bean at the games more, man. And I know the situation. I want to play. This is a clip from Kobe Bryant on the Jimmy Fallon show. Paul, I want to play this clip. So let's just check this out.
Well, I don't think they know the story about when we first came out here ourselves. The first place we went, we have some history together. The first place we went was Pink Dot.
Do you remember this?
Remember that?
I mean, I've been wanting to talk to you about this because I haven't seen you since 1996. Yeah. That's what I was a comedian. It was your second season on the Lakers?
I was on the bench, and he was doing stand-up comedy, and we were just kind of nobody. So they said, why don't you guys go out and get some beers or something? So.
Yeah, we were at this party. You were there with your sister.
Yeah.
She's doing good?
Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing great.
This is a picture of us, what we looked like in 1996, by the way. Pretty styling, man.
Now I can't grow hair no more. This won't happen.
We're at this party together, and we just started talking to each other. I was just like, I didn't know anybody really at the party. I don't know why I was in there. I snuck in or something. And they ran out of beer, and so they go, someone's got to make a beer run. So they go, Kobe, you want to make a beer run? You go, I'll go. You go, Jimmy, you want to come with? So we got in your car. I don't even know what you were driving. Do you remember?
I think it was a Land Cruiser at the time.
Yeah. So we get in your car and we go down to Pink Dot, which is it's a place out in LA out here where they only deliver food to you. It's not a store you can go in and buy stuff. But we don't know. We're brand new. We don't know. You're brand new in LA. I don't know anything about LA.
So we didn't have a Navi system, so we're just kind of cruising.
Exactly.
around.
Yeah. So it was on Sunset Boulevard. So we knock on the glass, and the guy goes like, "What do you want?" And we go, "We want beer." And he goes, "I can't sell you beer. We don't sell anything here. We have to deliver it to you." And we go, "But we got to bring it to a party." He goes, I can't. And you pull your wallet out of your ID out, and you put it up against the glass, and you go, "I'm a Laker."
Oh, okay. Come in. Yeah.
We left with 5 cases of beer. We're like, hey, came back to the party. That was awesome, man. I'll never forget.
It just
Yeah, that was a great.
he was Mr.
story.
LA, man. From Philly, we repped him, and had a relation complicated because obviously, excuse me, he's from Lower Merion, from the suburbs. I know people say Philly, but it's a little different. But we still claimed him. I don't know if Omaha has something similar, like maybe somebody from how would it be like? What's a town outside of Omaha? Would y'all still say?
Well,
they
yeah,
rep
it
Omaha?
goes on right now. I mean,
Okay.
it goes on right now. A friend of mine I grew up with, her son plays in Omaha right now to this day, and he plays out in Bellevue, which is a suburb. Bellevue is like where the Air Force Base is, and because that's not in North Omaha in the hood. People talk shit about him like his numbers ain't real.
Right.
His numbers real. He's a baller. I mean, he's getting offers from Gonzaga, and they still talking about his game ain't as good.
No, I was saying if somebody was raised outside of Omaha, do y'all? But could they say I'm from Omaha, or you be like, no, man, you from?
Especially Nebraska, you still say it ain't as big as like Pennsylvania and Philly in that area. So yeah, you still say Omaha.
And I, obviously playing for the
Especially
Lakers.
If you black, ain't nowhere else to say but Omaha. Shit.
And they, they beating us in the championship. We was a little salty over that, but we knew. Listen, you can't. A killer, and he was my little brother. Rest in peace, my little brother, whose birthday actually is tomorrow. He would have been 40 years old. My little brother was a huge Laker fan, and obviously Kobe was his favorite player. So it's crazy. Beating us in the champ. I thought we had a chance that year. What was that? 2099. We won
that first game.
Yeah, we won game 1. A lot of people don't know.
AI stepped over T. Lou.
A lot of people don't know we took y'all to overtime in game 2. We
Yeah,
almost won
yeah.
game 2, 2 games on the road. But then once the Lakers got their bearings, they swept us. Basically, 4 games, won all the games in Philly. So we was a little salty about that. But Stone Cold Killer, man.
It's so funny. I was doing this show, and at the show they were raffling off stuff too, right? So they had a whole bunch of items they were raffling, people buying tickets and shit. So they had a picture of Kobe there that an artist drew, and they were going to raffle it off. So I go up and I'm doing my set, and then somehow I mentioned Kobe in my set. So after I finished my set, the people running the show, they were like, hey, we were going to auction this off, but because you spoke about Kobe, we want you to have it. So now I got this beautiful picture at my house that I had it like in there, like I'm going to take these pictures to get framed, because it's kind of an odd size, and it's a nice, so I want to get a nice frame for it. So now it's just ironic that this man it was someone's private artwork. They drew this beautiful picture of Kobe with a snake around his neck, around his neck.
The
and
Black
mom,
Mamba, yeah.
Yeah, and so now I got that. Now it's even more, I appreciate it more.
I want to, Paul, I want to play this too. I was trying to find this. This is newscaster Gianna Cruz. This is her dedication to Kobe. I think you're going to like this. Gianna Cruz, this is her. She's a newscaster for, I'm not sure what.
She's on ESPN.
Oh, she's on ESPN? Okay.
That ain't her name.
Oh, that's not her name?
No, her name is Ellen.
Oh, okay. Well,
Elin,
okay.
Something, I'm sorry. But she works for ESPN.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is her dedication.
She on in the daytime.
Okay.
Early morning.
Let's hear this.
You're hearing many personal anecdotes about Kobe Bryant, so here's mine. I met Kobe one time, backstage at an event for ESPN in New York. And I saw him and I thought, oh my gosh, that's Kobe. I got to get a picture for the gram. That's the picture. I didn't get it for a few minutes because as I approached him, he immediately commented on my rather large 8-month pregnant belly. How are you? How close are you? What are you having? A girl, I said, and then he high-fived me. Girls are the best. I asked him for advice on raising girls, seeing as though he quite famously had 3 at the time. And he said, just be grateful that you've been given that gift because girls are amazing. His 3rd daughter, Bianca, was about 1.5 years old at the time. So I asked if he wanted more children. And he said that his wife, Vanessa, really wanted to try again for a boy, but was sort of jokingly concerned that it would be another girl. And I was like, 4 girls, are you joking? Like, what would you think? How would you feel? And without hesitation, he said, I would have 5 more girls if I could. I'm a girl dad. When it came to sports, he said that his oldest daughter was an accomplished volleyball player and that the youngest was a toddler, so TBD. But that middle one, he said, that middle one was a monster. She's a beast. She's better than I was at her age. She's got it. That middle one, of course, was Gigi. When I reflect on this tragedy and that half an hour that I spent with Kobe Bryant 2 years ago, I suppose that the only small source of comfort for me is knowing that he died doing what he loved the most, being a dad, being a girl dad.
Yeah, I wanted to get into.
It's likely that you're
I wanted to get into that, and then I just kind of wanted to go into Gigi, his twin, middle daughter, who passed away with him. I heard another interview. I didn't have a clip of that. It was another interview where I don't know what show. He was on one of them late night talk shows, and they was asking him. He was telling a story. Somebody was like, "You want a boy, right? Don't you want a boy to carry on your legacy? You want a boy?"
Oh, yeah.
And he said, "My daughter heard that." She's like, "Nah, I got that.
Yeah.
I'm carrying on." And that was Gigi. The oldest one, she was more volleyball. She didn't seem like, but Gigi seemed like she was the basketball.
He coached the oldest daughter's volleyball team.
Oh,
also.
okay.
Yeah, he coached her team too.
And unfortunately, Gigi, they were on the way to the game. They were on the way to Gigi's game where he was going to be the coach, and some clips of Gigi playing.
It was just so sad seeing the kids that was waiting on him to play the game.
Yeah,
all them kids in the gym just devastated when they found out, and they sitting there waiting on him like.
Jason Terry was the coach of the team they was going to play. Did you know that? Yeah,
no,
Jason. Yeah, so Jason, their team was, they was in there waiting, and when they got the word, they was at it was at Mamba's Academy. I didn't know anything about this Mamba Academy.
It's been open for a couple years.
I had no idea.
He opened it like soon. I think he opened it like right after he retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been there, and everybody work out there already. People,
Elle Duncan, that was her name. Elle Duncan.
Ellen.
For Sportscast. My bad. I had her name mixed up. Elle Duncan. That was very well. He loved his kids, man. A 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, and
no, you got the 6-month, then the 8-year-old and the 7.
Oh, 8. Oh,
yeah,
8. I thought she was 3. Okay.
She's 8.
Okay, all year, and
So the baby, she ain't gonna never know her dad or her sister.
Yeah, unfortunately, just heartbreaking for Vanessa. Just the girls. They said the oldest one has asthma. They said I think she was almost freaking out. Obviously, just to lose your husband and a daughter. Just oh my God, I can't. My heart breaks for Vanessa, and I'm sure she's surrounded by family, and we praying for the Bryants, the whole family.
the Altabelli family, the baseball coach, his wife, his daughter, they're all dead, and they have 2 more kids now that are without a mom, a dad, and a sister. The whole situation.
And let's just but the Altabelli, he was a Orange County,
Orange Coast College
softball coach, and they said he was
hardball.
Hardball.
27 years, over 700 victories, 4 national championships in junior college baseball.
A pillar in the community up here.
That's off the top of my head.
Yeah, he was a pillar in the community, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Tonight, I think today they had the game. They played a baseball game, and they had a dedication to him. His brother
raised all the money to get the field.
He raised all the money, and it was his wife and his daughter on there. It's just Yeah, it's
And he
just,
had, they had another daughter in junior high, so now she's got to grow up, without no mom, dad, and sister.
yeah.
She in junior high.
All the families that was on there. It's just our condolences to everybody on there. It's just,
And then I mean, how fucked up it is that because, it was just a thing. It was just basically they was just carpooling.
yeah,
That's basically
yeah,
was like, oh shit, fuck the, y'all ain't got to drive. Come on, hop on the helicopter with me. We'll get
Yeah.
right over there.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, now I will get into this later on. I got some. I don't know if you want to. My friend who's a pilot. I was talking to him all day today, just kind of getting his. He's been a pilot for 20 years. And he just kind of give I don't what he thought might have happened with the. I don't know if you want to go into that and later on I want to get to. We can get
Well,
to some bitch ass motherfuckers.
I'm not really understanding, like how the report's saying that they shouldn't have been flying. It's like, I don't understand. I mean, if they shouldn't have been flying, then like how could they not know that?
Yeah.
How did the pilot not know?
My friend, you know what? I'll play. He sent me a couple voice messages. Like this is my friend. He's a pilot. He flies.
How you know a pilot, nigga?
I know he's from Philly. He flies
Fuck
commercial.
you know a pilot?
He flies commercial jets. So I want to, Paul, if you, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna play a couple his voice messages because he gives us some good insight of what happened. So I'm gonna play the first one. Here you go, Paul.
Hey, fellas. Jamal, to answer your question, I'm driving right now. Not so much on the weight.
Okay, because first, I asked him about the weight, about 9 people being in the helicopter. Did that have anything
No, that was
to
a
do
big
with it?
helicopter.
So, yeah, so he kind of, that's what he's referring to. Then he's going to go into, so I just wanted to.
Clearly, that's a lot of people in a helicopter. I mean, now, you also have kids in there, so which I think that the pilot or whoever was maybe not considering that because it was kids there and it doesn't affect the weight too much. But clearly 9 people is a lot of people in a Sikorsky. And I explained it all to Dev this morning. It was clearly, he was flying, it was called special VFR. It's a loophole where you can fly in marginal conditions.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it. This thing is kind of, I forgot this, these voice.
Maybe not considering that because it was kids there and it doesn't affect the weight too much. But clearly 9 people is a lot of people in a Sikorsky. And I explained it all to Dev this morning. It was clearly, he was flying, it was called special VFR. It's a loophole where you can fly in marginal conditions. Now, he left from Orange County and, up that coast, up towards the LA area, it's flat. And then he was in VFR conditions, which means visual flight rules. It don't take but a second to get near those mountains. As I'm sure, as you guys know in LA, mountain obscurations. How many times do you see on the ground there's no clouds, but you look up in those mountains and there's clouds up there? He was flying up.
All right, the way, he sent me a voice.
He was flying. It was called special VFR. It's a loop.
I'm gonna try to.
And up that coast, up towards the LA area, it's flat. And then he was in VFR conditions, which means visual flight rules. It don't take but a second to get near those mountains. As I'm sure, as you guys know in LA, mountain obscurations. How many times do you see on the ground there's no clouds, but you look up in those mountains and there's clouds up there? He was flying up in those mountains, trying to maintain ground contact. If you listen to the air traffic controller, she goes, verify you're still VMC, which means visual flight rules. You can see the ground. He said yes. But then he asked to make a turn back to the 105 because he lost contact.
It's annoying.
Yeah, you trying to give me a heart attack over here. It's just so
If
interesting.
you're not flying instruments and you're flying visual flight rules, you can see the ground. He said yes. But then he asked to make a turn back to the 105 because he lost contact with the ground. If you're not flying instruments and you're flying in the clouds like that and you get into the clouds, It takes about 30 seconds for your brain to know what the hell is going on for you to make that transition. It was a perfect storm, man. He was in the wrong place, the wrong time, in the wrong situation. He got spatial disorientated around mountains, which is called CFIT, controlled flight into terrain. It happens all the time. It's just very unfortunate that it happens with such a polarizing figure.
I have two more, but
happens all the time.
Well, he said, but you don't crash all the time. But sometimes that, and I have. He said sometimes you can make it out of it, and that's what he's basically saying. And I have two more, but this my phone is tripping. He's basically saying this guy has done this before. He's taken that route. He thought, but the weather was different this time. You in that fog, and he was flying low, and he said he was also flying blind. He was just the instruments was flying the plane, not him. He can't see. He said he got up there and he got disoriented, and he explained it to me like this: close your eyes and spin around 15 times, and then open your eyes. It's gonna take you a little minute to get your shit together. He said that's what happens, and he said, and I'm gonna try to play the other two clips, but he said, and you know what? I'll read.
Here we go. This nigga gonna start reading.
Okay, here you go. Here.
Oh shit.
He said the best thing, Maul, was prevention. When he was holding and conditions was deteriorating, he should have had the wherewithal to land and not continue under special VFR conditions. VFR condition is this, what he said, visual flight
resistance
conditions. Like I said, if he had been in Atlantic City or somewhere where it's flat, he would have been okay. But knowing the area with rising terrain, he should have known that he was heading down a path of destruction.
Damn. Path of destruction.
I never told people this story before, but I almost died the same exact thing when I was a novice pilot in my early 20s, and I vowed never to feel pressure again to do something stupid like that. It comes from planning. He should have known the weather was bad at his destination and filed what we call an IFR flight plan, where he could fly into the sky, fly into the clouds. So he was saying he should have got higher and just got into the clouds. Because he was too low, and then when he lost control, you didn't have time to get because he flying at 500 feet or 1,000 feet. That's not enough time. He said that mountain, he was blind, and that mountain came up on him. He tried to turn, and he just wasn't able to. He just wasn't able to get it back. He was disoriented.
That makes sense.
Wasn't able to get it back. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Let me see if I can.
So that actually is a great question. Yes, helicopters can hover, but when you fly what's called instruments rather than looking out visual, it takes about a good 30 seconds for your head to cage. It's called cage, to actually find out what you're actually doing where you are. Yeah, he did lose control of the aircraft. He put the helicopter in what's called an upset recovery or upset flight condition, because basically the transition from the outside to the inside, when you go from visual to inside to trying to figure out what you're trying to do, it takes about a good 20 to 30 seconds for your head to cage. And unfortunately, like I said, he could have escaped that scenario, like I said, if he was over a different terrain, because eventually his head would have caged. If you notice, he got in an upset aircraft situation. The helicopter did it climbed, and then it kind of rolled over and did a nosedive. That was him transitioning from the outside to the inside and trying to get control of the aircraft. We do it all the time in training. And yet, unfortunately, like you said, Maul, earlier, would I have done different? If I was in that situation, the same thing probably would have happened. I'm not saying I'm a better pilot than him, because the same thing probably would have happened to me. I probably would have wound up crashing. But the whole thing, like I said before, is to prevent yourself from even being in that situation. He should have already been on instruments, let alone trying to maintain ground contact in a rising terrain area. So it's a good question.
Damn, that's Dope Dealer podcast. Niggas got a pilot talking.
Ain't
that's
that something?
Yeah, man, you fucked me up with the pilot.
Let me see if I got one last one.
I hope I
I
explained
know
it right.
gangsters and dope dealers. You know a pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, nigga.
I hope I explained it right. The best way I can explain it: close your eyes and have somebody spin you around for a long time, right? and then open your eyes and try to gain your balance. You know, like your eyes are going all over the place, and then it takes about a good 15 seconds for you to kind of like, you know, you're going left and right and falling and standing up, and then if you kind of like stay still, your eyes will catch up to your brain. That's basically probably the best layman's terms for me to explain it. Like I said, had he have been in a area where it wasn't any terrain, they probably would have got out of that thing maybe upside down or kind of like a descending turn or whatever, but they could have recovered. But because they were already 500 feet above the ground trying to maintain ground contact with rising elevation, and you just don't have that time to recover. I hope.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you: Did y'all ask him? Did y'all ask the pilot what he thought they went through, or like how much time? Like what? I mean,
No, I didn't. That's a good question. But the way he was saying, it wasn't that much because 500 feet is not really that much. I mean, you don't. I mean, it happened quick. You know what I mean? Excuse me. He was saying now, mind you, that the police grounded their helicopters because of the fog.
That's what I heard
yeah,
too.
they
That's why I was
grounded.
like, well, why was they flying then?
He's another thing he said. I talked to him. He said he think this pilot has done this before, and the pilot thought that he could make it. Now remember, he's only 17 minutes away from where he's trying to land at. So you know you in your mind like I've done this before. I know it's not the greatest situation. I know I don't really. You know, I'm flying with the instruments. I really can't see. But he's, you know, sometimes his ego. And he also thinks that he don't know, like, he thinking that maybe the pilot, I'm going to disappoint Kobe if I don't get him here in time.
Hey, that's what some people were saying, too. Like, they thought that, not like Kobe was pressure.
But in his mind, you know, you got to select. Because somebody said it's crazy that somebody was like, I think Kobe's celebrity got him killed because this pilot is like,
and
I got to get them here.
Game?
Yeah, I got to get them here in this.
Yeah, it's his daughter's game.
Where they said he should have landed. He should have landed at Burbank or he should have landed at Van Nuys and just said, hey, Kobe,
y'all drive from here.
This ain't comfortable. But he's done it before. He's made it. And he you know, he's 20 years. He's like, I can navigate this.
I mean, they was like he was an expert pilot.
Yeah, I can navigate this.
How long has your homeboy been a pilot?
He's been 20 years.
20 years too? So they both
over 20 years. Yeah. So he said, you know, pilots sometimes are ego like, and you got Kobe. I think he's like, man, I don't want to disappoint him. You know, I want to get him here.
Sense. That makes
sense.
You know,
I can do it. I can make it over these. I know it's terrain. I know because I've done this flight before. But I can make it over there. But you never did the flight with these conditions, with this fog and stuff. So you know, I mean,
they had somebody on ESPN in LA radio, ESPN 710, that had been on the helicopter with Kobe before, and with the same pilot and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude was talking. He was just like, I've been on that plane, and I mean, you know, and I've been
on the helicopter.
Been on the helicopter and been, you know, with the same pilot flying.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. And sometimes you gotta.
But that's what I mean. I truly believe that. Yeah, he didn't want to. He was trying to get.
And he was
there.
close.
It was his daughter's.
He was
game.
17 minutes away, so he thinking I can make it. Yeah, you.
He probably didn't even go. Yeah, he probably didn't even think about it that deep. He probably just thought, yeah, I can make it, and you know, I gotta make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure that. I believe, like, if he'd have told Kobe, hey, it might be unsafe, Kobe would have said, well, let's not do it. I mean, I can't see him saying.
Or, like, I think we should land.
Yeah, I don't think he would have said, no, keep going, with his daughter and other kids on there. And, you know, so that has to be what it was. The gentleman thought that he could make it, man, you know. He didn't want to disappoint him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into, you know, some people need to be checked. Some people acted a fool in the death of the icon. There was a lady I think she was on the Washington Post. She decided on that day that retweet a 3-year-old article about the Kobe, you know, rape allegations. So she was suspended, but I think they then they suspended her at first, but I just read that they let her, she's not suspended, so they unsuspended her, if that's even a word. But she got criticized like bitch, like come on, like for real, like really. And some people showed their ass.
I mean, that's just
and definitely the number one person to show their ass is this.
But I mean, but hold on, look, let's look at it like that. Do we think that if Ben Roethlisberger died, would they retweet an article about him and the bitches he raped?
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
for sure he did it. For sure he did it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's just and so it's a clown ass comedian by the name of Ari Shaffir, whatever the fuck his name is.
Ari
Shaffir, whatever.
Shaffir.
Fuck him. So Ari Shaffir, he decided he wanted to be funny. He decided he wanted to be something that he's not. That's funny. So he decided to put up a disrespecting post of Kobe, disrespecting, kind of laughing at the crash, not knowing that his kids who died on that plane also, parents. So of course he rightfully so got dragged.
I've been knowing Ari for years. Like, I was really blown away that he did that, man. Like, I really couldn't believe that he did something so horrific.
I'm not surprised because everybody for clout. We live in social media. Everybody do shit for clout.
But when people have died though and all this shit, like, come on, man, come on now. I couldn't believe he did that shit. I really could.
Ari Shaffir, whatever the fuck your name is. So he, now he blocked his Twitter. It's reports that his agent dumped him. Now he put out an apology that nobody wants your apology. You bitch ass motherfucker. When you come to LA, we gonna see you when you come to LA. We gonna see you when you come to LA. Like he's based in New York, so he's thinking.
But Ari used to live here for years.
Yeah, and the latest update on that is he deleted everything. He posted people are calling it a non-apology to his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
His most notably his fans are saying he didn't apologize, but he has deleted the tweet and he has made his Twitter private.
Yeah, Ari Shaffir. Yeah, you bitch ass motherfucker. Why you listen? You say something, be a man and stand on it. Be a man, you double down, you put out the video, and then you double down on it. When people were dragging you. Now all of a sudden the next day, them goons then got to you, and you know what time it is, because you know how many niggas love Kobe Bryant, and you can't step foot in LA without them essays, without them Bloods, them Crips, putting their foot up in your ass. Now all of a sudden, you apologizing. Now all of a sudden, your agent dropped you.
Not apologizing.
You're not apologizing. Not apologizing.
I read. I didn't feel like that was an apology. And see, and that's another thing. He did some shit like that, and he don't realize, man.
Niggas love Kobe.
And just like Kobe was the person that he brought gangsters together. He brought blacks and Mexicans together. When there was times where there was racial tension, he brought them together. He brought us all together. Because, shit, the essays might be mad at the blacks or whatever the fuck is going on, but when it's Laker time, it's Laker time. They weren't mad. They didn't hate blacks. They loved Kobe.
Yeah, exactly.
It might have been some tension at the time, but Kobe broke that shit. Kobe brought people together. He brought gangsters together.
Right.
To watch the game.
Facts. Yeah, let me tell you something, Ari Shaffir, whatever the fuck your name is. I remember
Ari Shaffir, man.
Shaffir, whatever the fuck his name is. Ari bitch ass. That's what Ari bitch fur. That's his name. Ari bitch fur. I used to see you at the Comedy Store. I always knew you was a bitch. I always knew something was,
And let's just look at it from the point of, okay, if you want to joke, if that's what you consider a joke, and you want to attack adults or whatever, if you don't like Kobe, you don't have to like Kobe.
Yeah,
that's your option, your opinion. But damn, you didn't have no consideration for the other motherfuckers, for the kids, for the other people in their family.
It had nothing to do with
everybody
anything.
that was, you didn't have no respect for nobody. I was disgraced. I was appalled when I seen that shit he was saying.
Yeah, and a couple other comedians made little jokes. Couple other comedians, we're not gonna give y'all, we're not gonna say your name and give you, but we gonna look at you side eye for now. We're gonna look at you sideways now. Y'all on the list. Y'all on the list. Like this is, come on. Sometimes it's just, not everything is a joking situation. Not everything is time for jokey jokes. Like some, when it's kids
Nigga
involved,
said jokey joke.
when people die,
Oh,
when
my
kids
God.
are dying, like come on, man, with that bullshit. And if anybody bringing up all that past stuff that he been through, that man was raising his kids. That man was a good father and a good husband. That's all he was about, was raising his kids.
Yeah, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. So no matter how it went down, none of us was there. I mean, it's hard for me to believe it like that. But no matter how it went down, everybody makes mistakes. And I mean, and Ari calling him a rapist and all this shit. It's like, once you talk about Harvey Weinstein, your folks, motherfucker,
Exactly.
leave our folks alone.
Somebody posted, Ari act like his ancestors ain't get away with rape.
Yeah.
Somebody, which is true. So we'll get off that. Let's go to Allison, because we got we almost wrapping up. Allison Morris, real quick. Let's go to her. Allison Morris, Tobe Hixx. I want to play this for
Who is
you.
she?
She's an MSNBC reporter. She was on the air when the news broke.
Oh, that lady. Okay.
She was on the air when the news broke.
Oh my God.
And let's hear this. She was doing this report and let's just see, let's hear this.
The kind of star that was. You couldn't deny how much he brought to the team, no matter which team, which Lakers team he played on. Yeah, it seems like he was just the kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go to Bill Roden. He's joining me.
Let's hear that again.
On the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go to Bill Roden. He's joining me.
Hey man, how could that? She said niggas, man.
Cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go to Bill Roden.
She said Los Angeles niggers, man.
It did sound like she said niggers.
She said the Los Angeles niggers, man.
Let me see if I have.
Now, I don't think she meant to say that, obviously, but
let me see if I have a better. Hold on. I think I made.
She said
if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go. No matter which team, which Lakers team he played on. Yeah, it seems like he was just the kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go.
All right, man, the more I hear that, at first I thought she said nigga. And then I said, well, maybe she didn't. Everybody say she a good person. They don't think she's racist. But then when I hear more, she did say niggers, man.
Well, she said she went to say Knicks, caught herself, was trying to say Lakers, but it came out as kind of like Knickers. So Knickers does sound a lot like niggers. You know what I mean? So this was her.
What's up, y'all? Everybody. What's up, Joy? Hey, my Aunt Phyllis told me to quit cussing.
This was her tweet earlier today while reporting on the tragic news of Kobe Bryant's passing. I unfortunately stuttered on air, combining the names of the Knicks and Lakers to say Knickers. Please know I did not and would never use a racist term. I apologize for the confusion this caused. Now, let me go back.
Well, hold on, though. Like, you know what? I'm starting to not believe her because, hold on. Let me tell you something, man. The moment, like, that ain't no shit, okay, remember a couple weeks ago when the basketball coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, when he said, he said thugs in the locker room, and he thought he meant to say slugs? Okay, that made sense to me. But the thing is that, homie, if you on TV and you fumble Knicks, Lakers, where it sound like niggers, you got to address that immediately because she knew she made that mistake. I mean, you didn't need America to say it sound like she said niggas.
Yeah.
You know what it sounded like.
Now, when I first heard it, Tobe, I was like, damn, she did say niggas. When I first heard it a couple times, like, damn, she said niggas. Then I listened to it. And then I was like, I think she was about to say Los Angeles Knicks, but she caught herself and she tried to change the Lakers.
Man, you know what though? Hold on, look.
But hold on, let me. And when I said that, I said I said, I wonder where she's based at. And this not even knowing anything about it. I said, yeah, I wonder why does she have Knicks on her mind? I said, I wonder if she's based in New York. And I never heard of her, so I don't think she's a sports reporter. So I went to her. I went to her Twitter page, and what did it show? It showed New York. So I was like, okay, I can see and she's not a sports reporter. She works for MSNBC. So I was like, okay, she had the Knicks on her.
Look.
Now they said early in the show, she also referred to Kobe as a Knick too. They said like early in the show. So, you know, she just got teams. She's not a sports reporter. She got them confused, but it was a horrible confusion because it sounded like she said, you know.
So she needed 1 million people to tell her it sounded like she said nigga before she.
Well, we
made a
don't.
response.
Remember. She's on this. She's got a breaking story that's fast moving. That she didn't go to work.
And it's so
planning
funny.
on that.
I forgot to ask. I got to ask my mother about this lady because my mother, she loved MSNBC. She watched that shit all day long.
Yeah, she's on from 2 to 4.
Oh, my mama
on
know
Sundays.
her. My mama watched that shit every day.
So when she got on, I think
7
the story
days a
had
week.
broke. So she just walked in. She planning on doing something else, and then the story breaks. So she's, you got to give her some. And she's not a sports person, and she's in
But
New
out
York.
of all the words that it could sound like she said, how you think that should happen?
No,
it
was definitely unfortunate. It was definitely unfortunate.
I
but shit happens sometimes, man. Shit happens sometimes. It was definitely unfortunate. She apologized for it.
Hey, we'd have felt a little better though if it had been a black news analyst.
We just
Come on,
obviously
man.
we live. You know the age we live in. We in the Trump era. White people are showing their ass.
Yeah.
So I can understand how people are jumping to that. But
I couldn't believe that shit.
Yeah, man. But on that note, man, we'll just end it with just it'll be more. We got a memorial, we got a funeral. I'm sure, the Lakers come back on it on Friday, so it's gonna be more to this.
The thing about this is that in the past 2 days, I've just been so many thoughts have went through my mind. Obviously about Kobe and his daughter and the other victims on the crash, but also my thoughts have went to my favorite team and like what are we gonna do? Like what are they gonna do? And I've come to the conclusion that only one or two things are gonna happen. Either they're gonna win the championship or they're gonna fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one or two things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I will have to admit, out of anybody in the NBA, we are in the best hands with LeBron because of his age, because of his life experiences. Say for instance, if Giannis, if Giannis was the star of the Lakers, he's so young, I don't think he'd be able to mentally deal with this shit himself.
Right.
But at least we got the best person in the NBA. If he can't deal with it and work through it, then nobody else was gonna be able to do it.
Right.
So I feel confident in LeBron to hold this shit down. He shouldn't even. They shouldn't even. You shouldn't even. Frank Vogel shouldn't even have to say nothing the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You don't even need no more speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They got to have the Mamba mentality. The Lakers have to win the championship this year. They have to.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
There's no way that any other team should be able to pull from what There's players in the NBA who during this year went through personal tragedies in their family and stuff like that. But when it comes to a team, no other team should have the energy that they step on that court with for the rest of these games.
True.
Nobody should be able to pull from the energy that they should have.
True. We're gonna end on this. We're gonna say the names, everybody who passed away, the 9 people, and then we're gonna give the 9 count on the bell, and we'll wrap it up like that, man. So rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Gianna Bryant. Rest in peace, Alyssa Altobelli. Rest in peace, John Altobelli. Rest in peace, Carrie Altobelli. Rest in peace, Christina Masur. Rest in peace, Sarah Chester. Rest in peace, Peyton Chester. And rest in peace, Ira Zobanyan. Ira Zobanyan. We're going to give you the 9 count. Rest in peace, everybody, all the families, man. We
Man.
love you, Vanessa Bryant. We love you, the whole family. Jelly Bean, Mom, all the Lakers, the staff, the organization, the whole NBA.
I mean, I never seen nothing like this, man. The city, you know, what it's done to people. I've seen grown men crying in public. The buses with the R.I.P. Kobe on it. I mean, this has got to be the worst thing in sports history.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the worst tragedy in sports history. I don't give a fuck what sport.
Yeah, I agree. In L.A., man, John Singleton, Nipsey, and now Kobe. It's been a rough 12 months for L.A., man. On that note, man, we love you guys, man. Call us if you need to talk to us, man. What's our number?
818-335-2065. 818-335-2065.
Next week will be the 100th episode. We just had you, obviously, hopefully no other crazy shit happen. There will be a 100th episode next week, man. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter. Follow me at Jamal Doman.
At Tobe Hixx, TOBEHIXX.
At Dope Dealers Podcast, man. We love you guys, man. We out.
Mamba out.